Hey, everybody. Welcome into Beer, Bourbon, Baseball. This is episode 10, and it's just Mike and Mike today.
Your
Uh,
intros for these shows.
yeah. Hey, everybody. It's always a lot
Hey,
of fun.
everybody.
Yeah,
They're
I'm just sorry.
questionable.
It doesn't help when I'm watching baseball to my right and watching Vlad getting torn up at first base a little bit. But regardless,
I'm watching Woodruff against Castillo right now.
welcome. Like I said, welcome in. This is going to be an AMA type of episode / we have your baseball questions, and we're going to get to that shortly. But before we do that, Mike, what's going on, man? Oh, hey, first off, for those who are maybe listening and not watching, you can follow us on Twitter. Mike, my partner Mike is at SpStreamer. I'm at Mike_Kurland. Went off the rails already. Screwing up the whole show. Oh yeah, it's my new best. But what's up, man?
Yeah. No, the usual, man. We're just kind of grinding away right now. Picking streamers so far. Fingers crossed, it's been going pretty decent. So yeah, we're just gonna the usual.
The usual. That's it. That's all you got. We took a week off and no one noticed because
nobody cares.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you were not feeling well. I was kind of I think I got busy at work or something. I don't remember what happened. It doesn't matter, but we're back. And we're gonna get some we have a question. We already have let's get some favorite buy lows and sell highs. We will get right to that. But we have to we usually play a game first. Let's answer this first, actually. Obviously, we cater to the fans first, and before we get to the questions that you asked us on Twitter, before we get to some other content we have to fill, that we do this for an hour. We play a game called A Shot in the Dark. We'll play that in a minute, but let's from Locher. I apologize for screwing up your name, Locher 88. Let's get some favorite buy lows and sell highs, dude. I actually have a strategy that I'm not buying low this year, and I kind of mean that. Like, I know there are, if you want to pick favorites, fine. We can go down the list of JD Martinez, Pete Alonso, guys can be better than they've been playing. Lindor is kind of I've seen Lindor go kind of cheap in places. Bellinger going cheap. There seems like obvious ones. And then, of course, the sell highs would be what? Your Cronenworths. I wrote them up today. I wrote them up last night, put it out today. And who else would be a sell high? Dylan Moore, he's injured now, but those are some of those names. It's like Ian Happ. He's a name I'm seeing floated around. I'm not buying low or selling high. I'm kind of riding it this year. It's a whole different strategy than ever before. Mike, how have you approached buy low, sell highs? And if you have any names that come to your mind, pitching wise, even throw them out there.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really tried to trade or anything, mainly just because I can't stand the people in the league. But
that's a different discussion. Is this the league I'm in with you?
No, not even that league. It's a different one.
I can't stand that league either.
It's just like too much effort sometimes. But anyway, and plus, like, now most of them know about my account, so anytime I try and trade with them, they think I'm ripping them off, so they don't even.
They don't realize how bad you're just bad at fantasy, and they don't even know that.
Sell high pitching wise, I still don't believe in Lamet.
Well, we're gonna talk about that tonight a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is Lamet. I did look into him a little bit. His fastball is a lot better than last year. It's actually up 1.5 miles and has more rise to it. So that's great stuff right there. He basically went from a 1-pitch pitcher to a 2-pitch pitcher, but he's still just a 2-pitch pitcher. So I do feel like he's going to get hit at some point. I mean, he could keep going on a crazy tear, but I wouldn't be shocked if he has a bad game or two coming up soon, to be honest with you.
Now, serious question is, would you buy low? I mean, maybe, or would you even sell high? Glasnow wasn't looking good before tonight. He's on fire. Last we checked, it was like double-digit Ks, right? Double-digit strikeouts at this point in the game?
Yeah, I think they pulled him now. I think it was 13 Ks.
13 Ks. Is this reason for optimism? Obviously it is, because we know the potential's there. But is this the window to sell high now? Because we're talking, it's about time that trades are about to be finished. Do you sell high off this performance, or do you ride it out, or would you even try to buy low? Because I bet you there's people like, I'm just saying, let me get from under him. Now they had that last good game. Let's get from under him.
The problem is you can't trade him now, because now whoever owns him is going to be like, nah, he just had a 13 strikeout game. I'm not going to sell him for cheap.
I'm not saying cheap, but maybe I'm trying to think, would you give up Lamet for him?
Well, yeah, but that's probably also because I hate Lamet.
But that's I think that's a realistic deal, man. I think
that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. I feel like I know it's a short season and I constantly say it, but it's just like it's so hard to let go of guys that you've drafted so high because like they could go on a tear for the last month. You know what I mean? Like they could finally be what
Or
we
do
thought they
nothing.
would be.
Or do
Like,
nothing, man.
yeah, I mean it could be either or.
That's why I'm so afraid.
But anyone who's playing well too could go completely opposite.
Yeah, but that's I understand that, but we've seen it's because the season as a whole, 60 games is a short sample. Period. End of discussion. 60 games is short sample. We get that. I have the thing is, I was like, normally I would tell you, hey, don't worry about. Oh, we got to cheer. Craft beer pours. Hey, I can appreciate you, man. Cheers. We actually did not do that. We'll get to that in a minute as well. We skipped.
Yeah, we're way off the rails right now.
1 week off, and I forget how to host this show, I guess. But like a guy because we got right into the questions. Like you guys hit us up with questions. We cater to you guys. But I'm gonna need a crack of beer here because I have 2 of them I need to get through tonight, at least. But yeah, so what are you drinking? Let's stop what we're doing. Aberlour. What is that?
16-year, baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say I see the 16. You know, it's
Scotch whiskey.
That's gonna be really good.
Oh, it's amazing.
See, I have so much leftover beer because I was never a beer drinker before the show, and I still try to limit my drinking to once a week on the show. So I have some leftover Florida Man, big Florida Man guy. I like all the Cigar City stuff, man. It's really good. This is a double IPA. We're gonna do the. Hold on, I can't do it. No. There it is. Cheers, Mike.
Wait, let's see if I get this one.
Oh, he did. Cheers, buddy. Cheers. No cheers.
Can you give me a second?
No. Cheers to fantasy baseball. Man. And then we have somebody saying Red Sox suck. We don't necessarily agree with that. We are not biased here.
Rough year for us.
Yeah, rough year for us. I'm here for the beer. So
rough year for your pitching.
Oh, dude, it's terrible. The Red Sox pitching.
So up tonight.
Would you buy low on JD Martinez? I think he's like one of the few guys I feel comfortable buying low in because I feel like we've seen stretches of him get bad. And if he's not happy and if he gets traded to a situation, which we'll talk about later because we're talking about some names that might be traded. And JD Davis is a guy that, spoiler alert, he's a guy that I really think is going to get traded. And I don't know, man. I think he's somebody I would buy low on comfortably.
JD Martinez?
JD Martinez this whole time.
You said David. You said
the whole time.
No. You said Martinez, then you just said Davis for some reason.
Because I love JD Davis. Sorry, I love JD Davis. He's not going anywhere.
You know, I don't know. I saw a lot of bad things about him in the offseason. A lot of underlying stuff that showed his power is gonna kind of going downhill. Yeah, so I'm a little.
But how much? Like, you don't understand the trades people are asking me. People are asking me trades like. If I pair Cronenworth and Santander for JD Martinez, I'm like, yes. Like I didn't think those were real, but and Mike, Doctor, Mr. Doctor Carter over there, Sleepy K already drunk. No, haven't even had a sip yet. Actually, what? Oh, don't brush your teeth before you drink beer. It's gross.
Oh, are you an idiot?
I forgot. I brushed my teeth with my kids before bed.
That's brutal.
Because I'm a good father and we do stuff together. And I wore the hat because the Mets suck and you're a Mets fan, so you're terrible. But anyway, let's get to the game. So we're going to play our shot in the dark game, and what it is it's a game of what's the word? I can't think of the
guessing.
It's not a strategy. It's a why can't I think of the word where. Obviously, it's a guessing game, but it's a. Help me! I'm floundering here, Mike. You're not helping.
No, literally no idea what you're trying to say.
It's a It's when you have to. It's a clue. Like you give clues and all that. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
Guessing game.
It's not. It's when you go out and you play. Like oh my goodness, there's a word for it. This is terrible podcasting. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give Mike 5 clues one by one, and each round he gets one guess. If I give all 5 clues, not charades. If I give all 5 clues,
charades.
You get and you don't guess the player. Yeah, if I give all 5 clues and you don't guess who the player is, you have to take a shot. And he's gonna do the same thing for me. But I give him pitchers, he gives me hitters. And again, every clue, I get a guess. But if you in the crowd guess before I do, I have to drink as well. So there is incentive for you to play. You can cause me to drink. And although I'm already apparently drunk, if you ask Mike, which I just can't get the words out of my mouth today, but whatever, man. It doesn't matter. Let's get right to the game. Yeah, live potting and drinking is brave. Dude, we've been doing this for... You should go back and watch episode... What episode did you miss? Yeah, it's definitely a skill. What episode did you miss? 7 or 8? I had Matty Wood
2 episodes ago.
I had Matty Wood and I had Nathan Dockin on for 2 hours because the drinking didn't stop, and neither did the fantasy baseball talk. But yeah,
need me.
Yeah, that's why we need Mike keep the show rolling because I can't think of words and I harp on that. But anyway, let's get to the game. Where's my phone? There it is. Let's talk baseball. And again, after every clue, you get a guess, and the crowd gets a chance to guess. But if they guess it before you, Mike, you got to drink, obviously. And the clues start off really hard and get easier. Usually, we're still working on this.
All right, are you going first or am I going first?
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go first because I usually screw this game up.
All right, go.
So clue number 1. Again, this is about a pitcher. So guess pitchers. Of players who have thrown at least 20 innings, because I had to find a realistic number.
Yeah.
It's a starting pitcher. A starting pitcher. Yeah. So I don't think any relief pitchers have thrown 20 innings yet. And if they have, it's impressive. Of players who've thrown at least 20 innings, he's 11th in K- walk, which his K- walk is 26%. It's not even that hard. It's like kind of hard because I know you've looked at K- walk recently, but it's not that hard.
I know. I'm trying to remember. 11th in it. Castillo.
No.
Okay.
He was like 14th or something like that. He was close.
Castillo.
Yeah, you like that, right? I love that. I love playing off names like that. The pun game is real, son. Clue number 2. Slider is the bread and butter pitch. Has a 0% barrel rate, 25.5% swinging strike rate, and an O swing of 41.1%. Giving you pitches scare me because I know you look at pitchers a lot. I'll say it again. The slider, I called it the bread and butter pitch. It's like his go-to. No.
Damn.
Which is a good sell high because I think he got lucky with a good early season schedule and the A's not really clicking yet. That's a whole other discussion. Clue number 3, because no one's even, and you guys in the crowd can guess. It actually helps him out because if you get it wrong, then he knows not to get not Junis. Well, so he has this.
Can you reiterate?
Corbin. So clue number 1, of all players who have thrown at least 20 innings, he's 11th in K- walk rate.
Okay.
And his K- walk rate is 26%. So that's kind of an extra little clue to that one. Clue number 2 was his slider is the bread and butter pitch. Has a 0% barrel rate, 25.5% swing strike rate, and an O swing of 41.1%. I was hoping you'd waste the guess on Corbin, but somebody else already guessed it, and it's wrong. And this next one is he has a 5-pitch mix, 3 of which he throws over 20% of the time, and his 4th pitch he throws over 15% of the time.
I know,
and it's actually 16.8%.
I know,
exact. Do you?
Yeah.
No, don't answer it then.
What?
That's what I was answering. I want you to drink.
At least I think I know what it is, just because he produces weak contact, but also gets a ton of strikeouts and has a deep arsenal. So Sonny Gray.
Yeah. Yes. I knew that was gonna be too easy for you. The thing is, you like that for you, that's easy. Like I love the answer is not Lamet.
Definitely not Lamet.
Yeah, the 5-pitch mix. And I knew the Arsenal thing. That's why I wasn't sure because the next 2 clues was a top 25 SP for most entering the year, currently ranked 7th among starters in 5x5 Roto. I knew that would have kind of helped you give it away because I know he was a fringe top 25 for some people.
Yeah.
And then the last one is he's tied for the most wins in the NL with 4.
Right.
So they were like, this was like the first time.
Weren't bad.
I think this is the first time I didn't screw up the game. Although I screwed up entering the game, I didn't screw up the actual physical game.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and answer, or you go ahead and give me your. Let's go. I already have my beer ready to chug.
Let me clear my throat here. All right. Has the highest average exit velocity against fastballs.
Really? Highest average exit velocity against fastballs. Matt Olson.
No, he sucks. All right. Next one.
Sano. That's a good one.
Someone guessed Sano. That's right. Wow. Give that man something.
No.
Look at that.
It costs me way too much money to be giving away stuff, man. To be honest. Like that one night where I gave away all that stuff, my wife yelled at me because it costs us $40 to ship everything. So no, I'm not giving away anything. God.
That was impressive. First guess. He definitely.
That's it. Bow down. Here you go, buddy.
Appreciate you, man. First clue.
Yeah, I didn't even, and I knew it was a power hitter, so I just guessed the wrong power hitter.
Yeah, my other clues were 100th percentile and barrel percentage.
I would have guessed right there. I would have guessed Sano or
Whole percentage is the highest of his career this year. Plays in the AL Central. Plays first base.
dude. You go from like difficult to like really easy. It's like you want to give it away. All right, that was fun while it lasted all 5 seconds. So yeah, let's move on.
That was the quickest shot in the dark like
ever.
It
took me longer to figure out the word trivia, which is what I was couldn't think of. This is a trivia game. I'm like, and you see why I was trying to like. I know it's a word, it's a thing, and I just couldn't do it. But let's get to the I still have the clues up, the questions. So before we get into the questions, we actually reached out not only to Twitter, but we reached out to the chat that you, SpStreamer, are in charge of, and I kind of chime in from time to time as I get tagged. But in all seriousness, it's a chat that we both help out in. You run the whole thing. Yep. Tell people about it. It's very, very affordable. It's a lot of fun, and we talk baseball all the time.
Yeah, it's our membership for the year. I think it's like $12 or $11, and yeah, I mean, you get our Discord chat, which is great. We have a ton of people in there now, so it's really been building up. So there's conversation every day. We talk about literally everything. And then, we do about once a week, we do, a little live AMA. So I like send you guys a link you could come on to, and like we just chat it up and talk about it, give you some advice, which is pretty cool. Yeah,
a lot of player breakdowns. Like there's always player breakdowns.
Yeah,
like today. For instance, somebody today asked me about Ohtani, and because I usually do a lot of the hitter stuff, while you handle the pitcher stuff. That is your thing, Mr. SpStreamer, sir. But the hitter stuff, I usually chime in and help out, and I ended up giving like probably close to like a 500-word response to what's wrong with Ohtani. Next thing you know, I was like, hey, I ended up writing a 1,200-word article on him today because there's just so much, going on with Ohtani. So again, but it helps us both because we get to talk about players that we might not have on our teams that we don't have rostered, and it helps everybody else out because the chat, it's not even just me and Mike, it's everybody. The community as a whole answers each other, and it's a lot
what's
of
cool
fun.
too is like we have other people in there too, like Chris Clegg, who's on Mike's podcast. He's in there. We got Mike, who's also commenting right now saying that he's in it. So we do have like other people in the industry in it as well, which is awesome too. So like they chime in too, especially with dynasty advice and stuff like that. So yeah, we got a lot of different channels for everything. We even have a venting channel, which is a ton of fun, where if players just piss us off, we just plop it right in there and complain to everybody.
And everybody kind of feels the pain. Like Chatwood tonight is kind of, I think that's been the hot topic for tonight.
So it's a lot of fun. And plus, you can reach out to me anytime you want streamer advice for like your league specifically. Just tell me who's out there. I help you out. So yeah, it's awesome. And then plus, if you get it, now, especially because it'll basically go into next year, you'll get our draft kit for free next year. You can get custom rankings, ton of stuff. It's really cool and cheap, so it makes sense.
we're
now.
We are a cheap date.
We are,
and it's okay. Yeah, I mean, we're drinking beer and we're hanging out online. Like this is what we do for fun. Yes, this is as cheap as it gets. We're in the house, we're hanging out. But yeah, and we're live. Like people can just hear me just spew BS, which is awesome. I'm not even drunk. It's fantastic. Anyways, from the chat, we're gonna highlight them first. Marauder is the name he goes by. Don't really know if that's even how you say it right. How we handle trades in general is all he asked. And I love our chat, but man, that was a tough one. I kind of talked about it though a little bit, was that I don't want to do trades this year at all. I'm kind of like avoiding trading because the hot players can stay hot, the cold players can stay cold. My bold take, which has worked out so far, was a week or 2 weeks ago now on Justin Mason's podcast when I jumped on randomly to help him out. I said I wouldn't sell Kyle Lewis for Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso proceeded to hit 2 home runs after that game, or after I said that, but then has since cooled back down, and Kyle Lewis has kind of kept it up with stolen bases, with home runs. He's not as good as he's been, but it just goes to show you that in a shortened season, pitchers have less time to adapt. Players that are hot might stay hot, and players that are cold might stay cold. And it just goes back to my general strategy is I'm not trading if I can, if I can avoid it. But I will.
No, I'm totally behind that. That makes perfect sense. It's like it's not enough time to see people changing. Making tangible changes, as Mike says, and it's just like
that term.
It's not enough time to do that and really analyze things. So it's like, why even attempt to we look at underlying stats. I mean, just right now, still just because we have nothing else to really look at when literally none of it is viable right now.
Very, very.
So
say none of it. Very,
well, no.
very little. Very
What's
little.
viable right now? I think only swing
K
strike
minus walk rate,
percentage,
like that. Maybe.
K walk, I think is or almost. And
that's what I'm saying. It's kind of
I don't know offensively, but yeah. So I mean,
much.
it's just like it's like our game that we play. It's a shot in the dark.
Yeah, it works out. A good plug. Way to go, Mike. So you've been, especially in dynasty leagues, unless I'm obviously. I'm of course beer burping in baseball is coming out because I chug the beer. Don't chug IPAs; it makes you burp. They're with the whole dynasty aspect of things, though. The only way I'm trading is if I'm legitimately like a very heavy favorite to win, or I'm really out of it. If I'm a middle team, I'm not one of those like let's kind of put one foot in, one foot out, and go for it, but not go for it. Yeah. I am going to seriously just hold either commit one way or the other, or just hold pat as well. Like I'm just gonna stay as is.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm glad you have so much to add to that. Mike Carter, aka Mr. Dr. Carter. How to handle starting pitching in points leagues? Just don't worry. I don't know, man. Like I don't do points.
Don't. That's your answer.
I don't do points leagues, but I know pitching is very important. His biggest issue, because I know he continued on talking about a lot of pitchers going 3 and 4 innings. That's it's kind of we're slowly getting away from that for the most part.
We're basically away from it, unless it's a rookie coming up or someone coming off injury.
But I honestly, my big thing is just looking at what your opponent's throwing out there and try to match them or beat them by a start. But don't do it. Not to a point where you're starting a cruddy 2-start guy just to do it either. You want quality over quantity still, because a quality 1-start can be better than a rough 2-start, because the 2-start can go negative. And I've had it happen back when I was like brand new at fantasy. I won't forget it. I remember having a pitcher go like negative 20 something for the week. I was like, yeah, I learned my lesson. 2-starts not. Yeah, it was a 2-step guy. I didn't know baseball nearly as much as I do now, or at least I claim to know now. And it was a 2-start guy, and dude, the guy it was a wreck. And so I've learned like obviously quality over quantity, but with points league, it's just like kind of just have to go that route. Always just match your opponent is what I would think.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely different. I'm in a points league, and pitching is extremely important, especially if wins. It depends how much your wins are worth, or quality starts. So yeah, I mean when it comes to pitching with that, I mean it's definitely beneficial to get pitchers on good teams. I could tell you that much. Like guys who are on Detroit or whatever, they're not nearly as valuable because they're not going to get you those wins.
Do you like talking with that rasp in your voice like you're super
tired?
You think you sound cool because you don't. You're not Bane. Anyway,
I sound more manly that way.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, call it what you want. It's definitely not manly. Let's move on to the next question, which I got off the page. Oh yeah, because it was from Frank. I think it's Amarante. I apologize if I messed up your name, Frank. You're a big supporter of everything. Appreciate it. Do you see Mike Clevenger and or Zach Plesac being traded at the deadline? And if so, where do you see them landing? He thinks the Yankees get Clevenger and the Braves get Plesac. I think the Braves better get somebody, because if they are truly trying to compete, they need a starting pitcher. If they don't get Plesac or Clevenger, they should get Lynn, or I'm sure there's another guy I'm not thinking of right now, but those are like the big 3 that come to mind. I think Clevenger was trotted out there as like a, hey, look at me. Let's give this show pony one more look, so people would see what like, hey, don't forget about him, type of thing. That's my opinion. I don't think they keep him. I think they trade both of them if they can. But if the Braves don't get one of them, I don't know which one. But you're right. I think Plesac fits the Braves more because the Braves have shown that tendency to be cheap.
So
and not do it.
Am I missing something? And why do we think they're going to trade them?
Because of the whole reason why they sent them down was just to get away from them.
I don't know. I feel like it's so much speculation. Like, are they really going to trade Clevenger?
They have the depth. Maybe I think
Plesac. They're contending. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think Plesac is more likely to move personally.
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing them move Clevenger. I could get Plesac, especially if they don't think he's that good and want to sell high on him. But I would be pretty surprised if Clevenger went personally.
You have to remember though, there was a lot of players that said, like, not a lot, but there was at least a couple that voiced like, "Hey, if they play, I'm out," type of thing. Like
Yeah, at that
dissension
point,
in the.
though, I mean, if they've now proven that he doesn't have COVID, what the hell? What can they possibly say? And I'm sure he just apologized to the team and they put it behind them and all that kind of crap.
Yeah, you're right. I don't understand why they would do it, but I do I can see why they would do it. Like, it doesn't make sense from a winning standpoint, from a team aspect, from a team need aspect, and all that. But if the team is like, hey, these guys got to go, or like half of us are leaving, the ownership might just do it. I'm more likely to, like I said, Plesac, I could see being moved more of the two, because they have McKenzie coming up doing his thing. They were obviously willing to give Plutko a chance, even though he's looked terrible. I think Plesac would be the one that just gets sent out of there, and the Braves make sense. And look, Cubby Knoll chimes in. If the Braves don't acquire an SP on Baker acting Jason Gold, yes. I don't know if you follow Jason, but I do, and he's always. I think he made a comment about today about like the Braves have minor league pieces. They need badly, desperately major league pitching depth. There's a lot of available pitching.
What do you mean? You think Kyle Wright's good?
No, it's
the joke.
Yeah, I got nothing.
He sucks.
Yes, yeah. I can't even think of, like, that's definitely the wrong choice. That's like, I was trying to think of a really bad pun.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie Erlin isn't going to do it. Josh Tomlin isn't going to do it. I mean, it's just
but Lance Lynn,
they're missing Gaussman right now. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, right. I mean, I can tell you right now, Lance Lynn would look really good in the Braves uni, dude.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
And that's like a 32-year-old pitcher, could be somewhat affordable. I think he has one more year on that contract as well, so it wouldn't even just be a rental.
I think so.
So that would be really nice. So yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves again. We're talking about people that could be traded, but speaking of the Braves, how are we feeling about Ian Anderson? Can you spell out how to pronounce your name? I hate butchering it. Locher 88. I'm sorry. I'm serious. Like, if you spell it out in the chat or pronunciate it in the chat, I will pronounce it right. I apologize. But how are you feeling about Ian Anderson? Did you get a chance to check him out tonight?
They didn't play.
Oh, they didn't play right. They got postponed.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling about him other than that? I forgot they.
Yeah, I mean, he's got strikeout potential. I mean, he had a high K rate in the minors. I just, I'm not like the biggest prospect guy, so I couldn't really tell you, how good he's looked technically. But yeah, I mean, he's a highly touted prospect. I guess it's exciting.
Yeah, I don't know either. Again, it goes back to, I mean, he has struggled. He did struggle in 2019 at AAA for what it's worth. But before that, he was like always a low 3, a high, like a 2 ERA, 3 ERA pitcher, strikeouts galore. I think the potential's there. He's highly touted. It is exciting. He did post in AA last year, a 21.6% K- walk, but it took a really big hit up to down to 6.2 in AAA. Again, smaller sample, whatever. I get it, but I think you have to be excited because you see what they're trotting out there daily. There isn't much. like this is it. Like, this is like, besides, and your boy, what's his face, isn't even looking that fantastic when you look under the hood. You can't think of his name. Your guy, the Braves. Blanking. Fried. Yes,
I know, he's amazing. I've been trying to tell people this for forever.
Have you looked under the hood a little bit though? It's really not that impressive. If I was looking, I think I was looking.
I don't have to look under the hood because he's amazing.
Okay, I mean, you're gonna say that.
What do you mean it's not that impressive?
Hold on, let me see if I think I was looking at him today. I'm
2.34 FIP, dude. What are you talking about?
Oh, but you're gonna ignore the XFIP, and I think was it the Sierra too? That was kind of Sierra's 3.91.
Ain't bad.
A Sierra of 3.91.
It's first of all, it's way too early to look at any of these, so it doesn't.
A strand rate of 85.7% and a BABIP of only 250 with a career.
Okay, you would literally see that on every single person who's pitching well right now, so you can't look at that.
And the K- walk rate is in line with last year, so that part is real. But he's still averaging less than a K per inning. So I mean, is there really a lot to be like? Are you really that excited about it? It's really, I mean, we're talking about a guy who can easily regress a full run, and although that would be great on the bottom line, if he regresses it actually won't take much to regress a full run. All it takes is one bad outing at this point. I forget how short of a sample it is right now, to be honest.
It's ridiculous.
But it hasn't been. I mean, he's been fantastic, but there's regression coming. The problem is maybe there's not.
I don't think it's gonna be serious. He hasn't allowed more than 2 runs in a start yet. FYI.
Yeah, that's not gonna last. And it's Locher.
Well, what makes you think it's not gonna last?
His last name is Locher. Locher. That's how I'm pronouncing it. I hope I did it right. Locher. Okay, next question. Let's move on.
He hasn't allowed a home run yet. How about that?
That's not gonna last.
Well, I mean, he produced a lot of weak contact. Can't hate on him for that.
Whatever you say, man. Jose Gondera, Pablo Lopez, or Dylan Cease this weekend. I will let you talk on. Thank you. Now, let me ask you about this. Is Pablo Lopez a must start?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way. And what's his ownership? I'm curious. I haven't looked it up.
It is. I want to say last time I looked, it was like over 50.
48% in Yahoo, which is what we use to gauge it, which is still too low. But yes, he is a must start for me as well. I was thinking about that. I even called him a must start.
62% owned in ESPN.
Yeah. Sorry, someone just chimed into the chat and caught me off guard. Yeah, it was Pablo Lopez is a must start moving forward, man. That changeup's looking great. The pitch mix is looking great. Good. Everything's looking good. Yeah,
it wasn't as great last time out, but he's someone that was really good last year before the injury. So I mean, that's what lets you know that it's not a complete mirage right now. So I think he's going to be a 2 ERA pitcher? No. But extremely, definitely going to be a viable one. And again, kind of like what you mentioned, Mike, I almost forgot your name for a second.
I'm forgetting everything. So I mean, it's okay.
And that changeup has been really good, and he's going to it as his most used pitch this year, which is pretty exciting. And his four seam has been a lot better when it comes to creating whiffs. It has more actually has less movement this year. That's actually kind of interesting. I wonder if the velocity is different.
It's almost like you're doing the same.
It's the same. But what is interesting is he raised the velocity in his changeup, and by doing that, hey, again, this is weird. He's like lowering his movement on all of his pitches.
I think I
have to look. I wonder if maybe he's gaining more commando because of it, which is a possibility. But but yeah, anyway, regardless, he's going to his best pitch more often, which is great, and clearly it's working, and the fastball is creating more whiffs. So I don't know if that's going to be sustainable, but just the fact that he's going to change up more is good enough.
And he chimed in. So Locher says last name is DeLoach, and in his high school baseball nickname, he stunk. And he gave a grand slam to Sean Doolittle. Fantastic story. That is by far the best story.
Sean Doolittle hit a grand slam off you.
Fantastic.
That's amazing.
I'm so happy that you chimed in tonight, man. You're my favorite person here tonight. Thank you. Mike can take a back seat. I want you on the show so you can tell us a story. All right. And another question from Andrew Armour 1. Any concern with Montas? Last two outings have been trash. I think he's just been dealing with his back. I think he rushed back from the back injury, and it's affected him. It's that simple. I think it's the back. I think he's not healthy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't really have any worry about his arsenal. I mean, it's a little weird. He's kind of put the splitter on the back burner for now. I don't know why. Weird. Yeah. I don't know if maybe he just hasn't. Maybe he's felt like he doesn't have a good feel for it yet.
That is very much a field pitch.
Yes, and they're very erratic, as Nick Pollack constantly talks about. So that's probably the worrying part. I think you're right, Mike. I think he might just be hurt. I don't know.
Pushed back. Remember the start got pushed back?
Yeah, I remember. I don't know. Yeah, and then they had to start Luzardo early, and he got lit up, which was the dumbest decision ever. But I think there's worry for this year. But I do think it could be nice next year. He might be undervalued.
Yeah, which would be great.
There might not be enough time for him to, get back to normal Montas levels.
Or he's going to just try to pitch hurt the rest of the year. Which again, as long as you remember, he got hurt, pushed back, never actually went on the IL. This could be the reason why he's going to be cheap next year, and it's going to be fantastic value. And the next question here is from Fantasy Sports Enthusiast. Oh, geez, excuse me. Because I just straight up took all the names. I didn't even look at their ats. Will there be any big name players change teams with any big name? What? Oh, geez. With the shortened season and of the teams to make the playoffs? If so, who? I don't know. I butchered the question. all together, reading it and writing it because I do this all the time.
What?
Will there be any big name players change teams with the shortened season? And basically who and where would they go? And that's why I think JD Martinez is a perfect example. I mentioned him earlier. He's a guy I think as far as big names go, he'll be dealt. Lance Lynn should get dealt. Problem is saying who because there are so many teams contending. I think the Padres might want to gain some depth on their starting rotation. They might make a push for a starter. JD Martinez might even fit them because they could utilize him in the outfield. I doubt they will. No, they can use a DH. They don't have a set DH, and you insert JD Martinez in that lineup, like him or not. That's a fantastic move on their part, and that would just add some extra protection to all the guys around him.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I feel like he's probably one of the names that are moved, but I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be any big names. I feel like we're going to see a lot of trades with like not big name players and just kind of like back end rotation to bullpen guys.
Do you think Matthew Boyd gets traded?
The problem is there. What's the point of them selling now? I mean, it's like you're going to get no value.
They have a couple of years of control left.
I don't know. Woodruff does not look good tonight. Jesus, his fastball is not the same this year.
Don't say that. Don't say those things. That hurts my feelings.
So what are you gonna do?
I hate you so much. All right. Next question, I guess. Let's move on. Coaching ish is Dinelson Lamet an ace? Our boy, our friend of the podcast, your host.
You said this
on
on purpose, that bastard, because I constantly on our morning podcast that we bring him up every time he starts. I know you just say how he's not an ace.
Oh, but he is one right now.
Nah.
He's a fantasy ace for all intents and purposes right now, and you cannot argue that.
He's
I don't care what
fantasy ace.
Call it what you want. He's a fantasy
FFA.
ace.
He's an FFA.
Fake fantasy ace. That's you're trying to make that a thing, aren't you?
Now I'm going.
The guy's handle was like the letter C with a bunch of numbers. So I just put C, and he asked Chatwood on a pitch count. Still starting him? Well, too late now because he asked this like. And
no, don't start him. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm guessing that
I was telling everybody to start him.
So you got that one wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good matchup. It's just this isn't good. You're seeing the walks. I don't know if he's still hurt and they brought him back too early, but when you see Chatwood giving up the walks, that's where you got to back off. So now I would not start him. I'd wait to see what he does his next start and then move forward with that. Johnny Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. Yo. What's that? Sorry, bring back the Budweiser from the 90s or early 2000s. At Cy Flutherin, why is Chris Bryant still held in such a high regard in dynasty circles? I don't have an answer to that. I'm with you. I don't agree that he should be. He said it back. Yes, Johnny Hot Wheels. I like him. Such a good name. Mike's already sick of me. It's awesome. That look on his face, he's like, shut up, Mike. Oh, too bad. I'm talking. Chris Bryant, I don't get it either. I don't think he's going to return to be that MVP that he once was. I just don't think I think he's going to be a solid, safe, high floor guy. His approach is just very much that, hey, I'm going to try to hit 300. Oh, I might hit 30 en route to doing so. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if he's not, he's just not going to be the MVP type that I think everybody wants him to be. Constantly battles injuries. He's hurt right now.
He's like a Rizzo to me, just super boring, will be productive as long as he's healthy, but nothing like, he's not exciting and there's not I don't really see any more upside anymore. Kind of like you said, decent average, probably will put up 30 home runs, but I feel like he still goes too early in drafts.
I'm kind of there. I'm not really. I think he goes there because people expect him to be that return to that guy when he won the MVP because he's not old. What is he? 28, 27 at this point?
28.
That's it. 28. Yeah. Zero concern about his long-term outlook. I just think he is what he is, though. Yeah. I think is that level there? Is that potential there? Yes. I just don't think he's going to get there again. That's what it is.
Right. I agree.
Well, we have 20 minutes left and we're out of questions. So, because it's crazy, I get questions. I don't know about you, Mike. I know you do because I see them on your timeline because I can see when people tag you and stuff. We get questions all day, every day, which we love. We welcome them. We thank you for them. We thank you for trusting us, even when we're wrong at times. But when we ask you for them, we need them because now we have to fill 20 minutes of a show, and we're going to talk about pretty much waiver wire. We're going to talk about players owned in 30% or less of leagues. I'm probably going to pick Mike's brain. I will start this last segment off with, what are you doing? Like, when do you turn a streamer into a hold piece? Like, what do you have to see for you to say, you know what, I'm holding on to this guy beyond just dropping him for the next streamer?
Just some consistency, like at least 2 starts where he pitches really well. It's pretty much that simple for me. Yeah. I mean, because a lot of streamers, they're streamers for a reason. It's because they'll have a good game, then a really bad game, then a good game, then you know what I mean. But as soon as someone's underlying metrics look good, and then they are consistently starting to perform, that's when you got to snatch them up before anybody else does.
And that's why Pablo Lopez should be like, he's a guy that I streamed once. He looked really good, and of course I dove in. I was like, wow, there's a lot here to like. There's some change in the pitch mix, there's some change in the stuff. I'm gonna hold tight, and it worked out. Plus, I'm a Marlins fan. My bias actually doesn't affect my decision making, but it's nice to see and root for a guy that, you know what, I'm buying in type of thing. Like, okay, he's on my team, and it's a little easier. I get to watch him a little more too, even though I have the package. I still I still watch my Marlins more than anything, which I don't know why I spend the money on the package because I'm just watching the Marlins all the time. but I'm still gonna buy it. But on the offensive side of things, I'm looking at like a guy right now, 29% owned, Dylan Carlson. He's actually dropped. He's down 3% in ownership. And the last 3 games, like, I know, again, he struggled out the gate. Wasn't doing anything. Last 3 games, he has a hit in each of the last 3 games. He already has a hit tonight. He's only 1 for 1 right now. But I think he has a walk as well. But he has the home run over the last 3 games. And he's finally coming around. I mean, some of these guys, they're not going to hit the ground running. So you kind of have to just take him, hold on to him a little bit, and let him go. But he's playing every day. He is batting at the bottom of the lineup, though, so you have to be wary. But there's a little bit of power there, a little bit of speed, and he's just such a solid high floor guy. I think he has like that 2020 type of production in there with the ceiling for more, but that's more like, I think that's where his safe production point is. But maybe not this year, but at the end of the day, he's a guy that if you're looking for upside to speculate on, again, under 30% owned, worth putting back on your roster because, again, he's been dropped a lot.
Yeah.
But we got a question about who's your top ad if you're speculating on closers. Ask Roto_Nino. No, that's my George is my go-to guy for closer stuff. I like Stewmont. Stewmont is that how you say him for the Royals? Because I think they're going to trade away all the other pieces around him. And his strikeout stuff is legit. I think he can close coming up in about a week or so.
Yeah, I always felt like Rosenthal would be traded. So yeah, Stowmount makes sense.
Is that how you say it, Stowmount?
Stowmount, I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. All matters.
Yeah. I just the problem is how many wins they're gonna get.
It doesn't matter. Saves are saves right now, dude.
No,
closers are dropping
like
yeah, but closers are dropping like flies, man. Like it's so difficult.
I mean,
like and then on top of that,
rotation.
I'm sorry.
When you have Matt Harvey in the rotation,
I get that, but you're talking about there's
guaranteed no save opportunity once every 5 star.
Yeah, but you do have teams like the Cubs with a really steady, like they're winning, but their closer situation is in shambles.
Yeah, it's a mess. Yeah.
So it's like, do you chase that, or do you chase a guy who could at least be the full-time closer for a team that's bad?
Yeah,
because when they win, they should win close games.
What do you think's gonna happen with Jimenez with the Tigers right now? You see,
I think Soto's a good stash.
So bad.
I think Soto is a good stash.
I do too.
Gregory Soto. Yep. He's a guy I would definitely speculate on. Other than that, maybe Taylor Williams gets moved, but I don't want whoever's next. I don't want. I know I don't want the Rockies closer. It's Bard. It looks like Daniel Bard, but I'm good. I have no interest because all it takes is 2 blowups and then he's out.
What about Roma or May for the Twins? Because Rogers, I know he pitched well the other night, but he's been really bad. He has not looked the same Taylor Rogers.
If I'm picking one, it's gonna be Romo because he's actually gotten some saves this year.
Yeah, I agree.
But the Marlins are interesting because I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna sell or if they're just gonna go for it with what they have, because they're very much in the hunt to make the playoffs because half the league makes the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
But if they were to say they become a seller, let's see. They're second right now. They're second in the division. So it's like,
yeah, you're right.
And the team above them is the Braves, who their pitching is trash. so they could easily fall apart. But if they do sell, I would like to. I really want to. I don't know. I don't really know who would get the next shot. There's just nobody really there for me.
I don't know. I
I would
heard
just
they're
avoid
not
that.
gonna sell, so
I don't think they are. That's when I'm thinking
Yeah,
that I think no. Last I read was from Craig Mish that they're going to reassess in a couple days. I think they wanted to see how the series went against the Mets before they decided to go in or be out.
Yeah.
Because their team is one of those. This is like the Royals of 2016, where it's just a bunch of players put together that could make a run. Kind of. They're not nearly as good as the Royals of 16, but you know, they're that team. They're that
like,
team of just
what's it called? They're like
the
scrappy.
Moneyball, like the Moneyball team, like a bunch of like pieces that are good, not great. Some young talent, and Jesus Sanchez who's up, Magnier Sierra that plays once in a while, but you know you have Luis Diaz up as well. And they have Monty Harrison who didn't look that great when he came up, but still that potential. So I think the Marlins can be a little sneaky. No one cares about my Marlins. That's just me being an optimistic Marlins fan. But beyond that, is there anybody else? I'm just looking again. We're going back to the waiver wire, 30% owned or less.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Justice Sheffield?
Yeah, I glanced into him recently. And
3 straight quality starts. Holy crap.
He changed his pitch mix, but nothing like looks great still. I still think he's a streamer, honestly.
He's just creeping to that threshold.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the new sinker. He dropped his change of velocity, which is good because he made more of a gap between that and his fastball. But yeah, I don't know. Nothing pops out at me with him. I mean, you know, his last 3 starts, he's been on a good run. He's like, I think he might be just like, you know, right now he's like in the zone. So like, if you want to ride him while he's hot, I totally get it. But as far as, you know, as soon as he has a bad start, he's an instant drop for me.
A guy that you need to drop off your redraft teams, and I hate to say this, but Joe Adell is super droppable. Like he's under the 30% mark at 24%. I think he struggled so much at AAA last year. He came up. I think they're letting him play through it because they're not contending at this point. But he's a guy that I'm at the point where I'm dropping him pretty much across the board, except for 15 teamers, 12 and 10s. He's a cut. Points leagues, he's not worth rostering because he strikes out too much.
Yeah.
But like I saw him, and then I was like, I don't even want to add him. And I'm looking at him like he's available in a lot of leagues, and I don't know why. I actually have him rostered in this league. I got to drop him. I think it's one of those leagues where I'm contending, so I'm keeping him on the bench in case he turns it on. But unless you're in that situation, he's not really worth it. But a guy that you should make the switch for, like a guy you should add, is Alec Boehm, who's actually 23% owned, and the dude looks great. Yeah. He's always been a bat first prospect. He came polished out of college. Always the bat was always going to play well. It was a matter of him finding a position. He looks like he has one. He plays every day. He's a guy that I'm in on Boehm, and he should be owned in more than 23% of leagues in Yahoo leagues. So I'm sure, I don't know if you have ESPN available to look it up, but he's a guy that deserves. If you have a CI spot with how bad corner field's been, he's a guy that definitely should be in your CI spot right now. And Locher hits us up with another question. Andrew Vaughn, any impact in 2020? I'm gonna have to say no, man. I actually did stash him in a league where I had an NA spot to do so in a redraft, but I don't know, man. They were reluctant to even bring up what's his face, the second baseman, Madrigal.
Yeah. I don't think we see him on.
I mean, the team wants to compete. They are competing for the division. But the problem is where's he going to play? I mean, he doesn't really have. I mean, the UT spot is taken up by Edwin. First base is a rotation. Yeah, first base is a rotation of Abreu and Grandal. Usually Grandal getting DH more than first base, but you get my point. There's just no spot for him right now. Where they could use him would be what? I know they couldn't even play him at third base. You have Moncada there, second base.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's no.
He's kind of blocked this year.
Yeah,
and that's all it is. I think. But as far as Vaughn goes, I love him as a prospect. I think he's like an Alec Boehm. I think he's just very safe, solid. His bat is ready to play already. I think. He should be up early next year. I would say he's a guy that's coming in a redraft. He's a guy that people are going to draft to stash next year. So I would definitely keep my eyes on him. But I just don't think the impact's going to be there for 2020. Now that I said that, he'll be called up tomorrow. And I take it all back. If he's called up,
and then you delete the episode real quick.
Yeah, this never happened, but yeah, it's just how it works. But yeah, Andrew Vaughn, he's a guy that I'm in on in 2021, but not for 2020. You guys, are you cool guys or no? I know from Torres Takes, and I know Pollock's a big Chad cool
I am
guy.
a cool guy as well.
You're a cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the sinker, but the slider, curveball are both really good. He's got two great breaking pitches. The slider he could use to pound the zone with and still get whiffs, which is great. And then he's got the curveball where he gets everyone chasing outside the zone. So yeah, I think with those, 2+ breaking balls, I think he has the mix to be decent. I don't think he's going to be, season changing. Like, I don't think he's going to win you a league, but I do think there's value there, and I'm surprised he's not more owned. The swing strike's okay, but it's tough to look at his numbers, especially because he was piggybacking for a little bit there. So it's a little hard to tell exactly how good he is based off that stuff. So I'm just going off the pitch mix, and I really like his breaking balls. So with that, I think he's worth an ad.
I like it. What about Spencer Howard? What are you doing with him? He's like 17% owned, I think it was. I just moved off him.
Yeah, he just looks like he's struggling with his command, and I'm just cutting loose with him.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, he just hasn't been good. I don't know if something's going on there, but just nothing looks positive of him. I mean, if you really just throw his stats in front of you and you not know who he is, you'd be like, this guy's terrible.
P. Charbonneau CA. Alex Young disaster. I think he came in here just to tell you suck, Mike.
What happened?
Alex Young disaster. It's all it says.
Oh, now I gotta look.
Alex Young disaster. I'm just glad someone came in here to make sure they tell you that you suck. That's awesome. You made my night, sir. Thank you so much, because I love giving Mike a hard time. Oh yeah, top of the first, 2-0. He's not even out of the inning yet. 22 pitches, 0.1 innings pitched, 2 earned runs.
If he gets out of this, you never know. He could cruise. It makes so much freaking sense, though.
He has 2 outs. Yeah, I know. Rocky's on the road. I get it.
Yeah, they've been bad on.
They're always bad on the road.
They're so bad though this year.
Charbonneau,
and plus, I mean,
I love you more for bringing this up to make him feel bad right before we end the show.
Bastards. Plus, if you looked at the options today, trust me, this was the only one.
Well, guess what? It makes me happy that you were wrong, Mike. If only I stuck to my streaming of hitters and you can give me a hard time. I'll stick to anything right lately, man. This short season has me jumping from like different thing to different thing. A guy I like right now off the waiver wire, I think he's 16% owned, is Brad Miller. I never thought I'd say I'd like Brad Miller, but the dude is just hitting. And he's batting top 4 in the lineup every day. They're playing double headers. There's a lot of games being played, and he's playing all of them. Ride the hot hand. Multi-positional eligibility. He's just doing it, man. And I looked up his StatCast page, and there's nothing but sprint speed, which I didn't even know he was a plus speed guy with 66 percentile sprint speed. He's 30 years old, kind of a journeyman, but maybe he's fallen into something. I mean, I haven't really looked much into him because the stats for him haven't regulated yet. There's not even enough data there to kind of dive in. But I'll do a quick look for fun right now, because why not? Because this is what I enjoy doing. Like, people ask me about somebody, or I find somebody, and there's nothing here. I mean, there's less swing and miss in his game overall, but he's actually making less contact, but more zone contact. So I think what he is he's being more selective. Oh yeah, he's swinging 10% less, 11% less. Wow. Okay, so he's swinging 11% less than he did last year, pretty much over his career. But while swinging less, he's hitting more balls in the zone. So basically, he's being more selective and picking good pitches to swing at, which is showing the positive production. Fantastic. Exactly what we want to see. Could it be a hot streak? Absolutely. Am I riding it? Absolutely. Brad Miller's a guy that you want to put on your radar for now. That is pretty much something. That's just all I'm seeing right now. There's not enough to kind of go off that. He has a stolen base, 2 home runs. He got another hit tonight. I mean, he's batting what? He's batting 375, 500, 625. That's not going to sustain, of course, but you ride the hot hand, and the guy has known to go through hot streaks in the past. He made my waiver wire article this week, and he's showing you why. He's just doing his thing. Do you have any trust? Okay, let me ask you something. Kershaw. If we were drafting today, because I just saw Alex Wood, so that's where my brain. By the way, my brain saw Alex Wood. I went to Kershaw because I don't want to talk about Alex Wood. We know what he can be, but I'm sick of playing that game. But Kershaw, I think right now, would you rank him top 5 right now? If we were drafting today, I think I would. I think he's there for me.
Problem is the injury risk still.
I know, but who are you? Who are you
Still
taking over
looming.
him, man?
But yeah, I mean, he looks great.
He came back from an injury. I get that.
Those driveline people, man, they
work magic.
They know their crap, man.
So
anytime a pitcher goes there, it's just like
fine. I'll ask you some. Would you rather? Like right now, fine. Would you even trade Kershaw? We'll talk about Kershaw, and this will close out the show because I think Kershaw is a very polarizing player because we know who he is, we know what he's doing, what he can do, and he's doing it, and he's doing it well right now.
Okay.
And so obviously Cole and DeGrom are still ahead of him. That's still the 1-2 consensus going into next year.
Bieber.
No questions. I'm sorry?
Bieber's
you put Bieber top 2 over one of them?
No, I'm saying Bieber over Kershaw.
Okay. Well, yeah, Bieber. And then what about Scherzer?
For next year?
Well, or right now. Would you
No, they're like the same level for me.
So you'd put them in the same tier. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're equal. Yeah, I'm putting Kershaw back above Scherzer, and that hurts me so much to say. What about Walker Buehler? Everyone's darling this year. We're supposed to be like take that next step, and he's actually taking two steps back.
I would rank Buehler over him.
Would you still?
Yeah.
Wow. You're just gonna trust in a full season, like a regular off season, and
I am not hoping that he plays bad. I don't hope anyone plays bad, but I'm hoping he's kind of mediocre, and I will grab him in every single draft next year.
I mean, that's honestly what could happen. What about obviously? I think Verlander and Strasburg are obviously behind him. What about Flaherty? He's looked fantastic in his few starts. In all like 3 of them he's made.
Nah, I'm still not, sold on him.
Well, he hasn't had a chance to show. What about Darvish?
Yeah, Darvish looks like the real deal, man.
This is what he looked like prior to TJ like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Is Darvish a top 7 pitcher right entering next year? Top 5. I mean, I might even say I might rather have him over Scherzer, just because he's not showing the health concerns Scherzer is.
It'd be close.
Same tier though. You would put him in that tier with Scherzer and Kershaw.
I mean, he might finally be top 10 Darvish. Yeah.
That's gonna hurt you. What about your boy Nola? You gotta be loving this.
Oh my god, I love every second of it.
He's looking fantastic. Is Aaron Nola back?
Oh yeah, he never left the building.
Well, last year was not Aaron Nola.
Just nobody believed in it.
I do have to ask you though, when it comes to Nola, do you think the ball is in his favor again? I think that's what was happening. Was last year he couldn't grip the ball, and when he lost the grip, he lost the control and command.
Yeah, and he's got that command back.
I don't know if you saw. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but Saris, he posted the whole I guess he put out an article and he mentioned the ball is different again.
It is different again. In what way though?
But I think they were mentioning that it's allowing pitchers to put more spin on the ball and stuff.
Huh.
Which would, if that's the case,
that's
again,
weird,
I haven't read the article.
Then why is velocity down? That's odd.
Well, maybe you're getting more movement instead of velocity.
I guess.
The laces are raised. The laces might be raised. You're seeing a lot of pitchers, Bauer and others, increasing RPMs on their pitches. So they're obviously able to. I think they raised the laces a little bit, which allows for pitchers to get better grips, which could explain why we're seeing Nola be the Nola we expected.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense because he relies on command and getting the cold strikes. So, I mean, it could be, but who cares?
What's up with your boy?
He's playing well. He's playing well, baby.
What's up with your boy Castillo, man?
So unlucky.
Is that what it is? I'm asking because he's looking like trash.
Yeah, you know what it is the defense. I've watched most of his starts, and even tonight, I'm watching his start right now. It's just Yelich gets this infield single somehow. He hits it to the second base, who's a Galvis, and he's playing so far back, and he doesn't get the throw in time to first somehow. And then Yelich ends up scoring. And it's just I don't know. If you look at all his stats too, I feel like all his underlying stats show that he's pitching a lot better than what his ERA is showing. I kind of agree. His fastball's been better, which is pretty cool, but I don't think his command's been the same, to be honest with you. Not that he ever had great command, but I think he is having trouble. He's having trouble locating his changeup, I think, this year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I I don't know. I'll probably still be buying it next year regardless.
I want your final thoughts. It's wrapping up the show now. Quick thoughts on Sonny Gray and Lance Lynn. Basically, are you in? Are you out? Or do you think there's gonna be regression for one or both of them?
I was always in on Gray. I liked Gray a lot. I think he's got such a deep arsenal, so it's like even when one or two pitchers aren't working, he can rely on the others. So I had a lot of faith in him this year. I don't see a sub 3 ERA, but I do see like a low 3 ERA with him. So I'm buying. It's not really surprising me what he's doing right now. Lynn, I liked a lot as well coming into this year. I don't think he's this good. I think people will catch up to him, but I do think he's still a good pitcher. Yes, I think he's like a mid 3 ERA pitcher.
Is he a top 20 pitcher?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. All right, that's gonna do it, Mike. Glad to have you back this week. Glad to be back myself. We both took the week off. I think we deserve it, but that's just our self.
I deserved it. You didn't deserve it.
You don't deserve anything. I ran the show without you 1 week. You can carry the slack without me, apparently. All right. On that note, you can follow us on Twitter at Mike at SpStreamer. This Mike, the more important one, at Mike_Kurland. We appreciate you guys listening as always, tuning in, and all that good stuff. And until next time, we will talk